One, we await your orders. You need but to ask it of us, and it shall be done.
The most enjoyable thing now might be taking over the world.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Overlord. Where last time, we commented on lizards and their sociology and what's the right and wrong thing to do. But now, we're going to be focusing on all of them dying.
Their sociology? Their associations with one another?
Yeah, the sociology is the study of society. So there's society
sociology is that.
Yeah.
A sociology is what you keep saying. You keep putting the letter A in front of sociology, which would be a sociology, which would be the associations of things.
I can't help my alien accent, alright? I'm new to this planet Earth. Sometimes words are confusing.
Look, I know you just ate a meal, but the least you could do is take a few swings of water to wash away.
Alright, time to go ahead and just, okay. I'm good now. Alright, so, this episode, Army of Death. I think there might be an army involved and also death. What about you?
It's the culmination of the lizard storyline, because after this we're going to go back to the humans and what's going on in their personal relationships with one another, leading up to their eventual meeting with Ainz.
Right, very much the same thing that we've seen over here, just broader by a few episodes.
Well, I mean, it very much builds up upon who these people are that we met in Season 1 that survived, and their relationships with one another, their histories with one another, their training to become better because of what they experienced. But, yeah, there's not going to be a lot more big action, not a lot more Ainz-related stuff, except for your favorite character. I guess this is big for you because your favorite character is going to come back in a big way.
Yeah, I think he's a fun character, so Sebastian's gonna have a whole big thing going ahead.
Who the hell calls him Sebastian? He's not the Little Mermaid.
Well, I do know, because it's obvious what they shortened his name from. Anyway,
well, look, if I create an avatar in a video game and I call it Sebas, I obviously meant for people to call him Sebas. Right? If you come around and say, well, that's obviously short for Sebastian, I'll be like, fuck you. How do you know? I'm the one who made it. Maybe it's short for fucking Sebas. Maybe Sebas is all it was.
Yeah, like Theta is just short for Theta-tifer, right?
Well, actually, I think you'll find that Theta is actually shorter for a Phoenician spelling of a completely different character that involved into Theta, which is a different subset of this is short for, in that this is short for by meaning of definition, not even by text of letters, which again spans generations of human, I don't know what's the word, vocabulary. Well, not vocabulary, because we're talking about text in written form. Which,
you would just say language at this point.
Yeah, language, because it's before even this means words. It's more like this means this. But, yeah. So that's even different from I'm shortening an English name into a shorter nickname. This is I'm shortening the human experience of language down into a character. Just so happens to now look like a TIE fighter.
Yep, we've gone straight back to pictographs. But,
well,
this
I
episode
went from a 0 with a line through it to an X-Men symbol. Still means the same thing, different language.
To the TIE fighter.
Yeah. I've evolved across the Marvel to Disney spectrum, all while maintaining a singular frame of reference towards character meaning.
So this episode has your favorite moment in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, sorry, apparently they've gotten closer to your window, Griff. So, it's a little bit more distracting. It's not garbage day, I can't throw that out anymore. But, yeah, the moment I can get with any necromancer I ever make in any game, because GMs just aren't cool.
Does that also include summoning the giant block? Have you summoned a giant block in a game yet?
Well, in Pathfinder, I did make a character who I can't remember what it's called. Not sewing needles, tattooing needles, where you could make a large object small and attached to your body. Where I made a gigantic statue. Uh, God, it was not animatite. Whatever's below that, one step below that, or maybe it was. I can't remember. Um, and then I had that spell that's like Magic Jar, but it's not Magic Jar. It's a different name. That basically lets you put your mind into an inanimate object. And I just edited that spell through various Pathfinder options to let me basically I turned myself into a mountain of metal. I Power Rangered in Pathfinder.
Ah, yes, you created your own giant robot form. Very good.
Well, the benefits of that was 200 HP, but it also had 200 bonus HP. What's that one where you summon down extraplanar creatures? Summoner.
Hmm.
Summoner, but he summons them over top of himself as a layer of armor. I can't remember what that option is called.
Yeah, that there. I know what you're talking about, though.
Right. So I inhabit the body of a gigantic statue, but I also summon down the summoner thing, which has itself 200 HP. So I've got those basically 400 effective HP plus damage resistance 15 for whatever the type of metal I used. I can't remember what has damage resistance 15. Somewhere in that range. But yeah, so in effect, yes, I have summoned a giant thing of stone.
Perfect. In that case, let's go ahead and see Heinz do it.
I really should have eaten though, because my hands are all vibrating.
Oh,
The sugar loss, I guess. This will be very important to this episode, though, because in a few hours I am going over to my aunt's house to eat dinner. That's why I haven't eaten, because it's too late in that middle area now.
yeah. Pretty well known magic item.
So that's why I said the problem with lizard culture is sometimes the joke is just referencing the previous joke. I think the ultimate in not having a argument towards, hey, I beat that guy, is that, yeah, wow, congrats, you beat a dead guy.
Beat him to death.
I mean, it doesn't really matter how powerful Lich is. At the end of the day, you're bragging about beating a dead guy. It's literally a dead horse. Too bad they're fucking. Or were, and then will be again.
In lizard culture, you just lay atop someone for several hours and then pretend something happened.
No, I mean, remember, Ian speaks on them, so we actually see it. Talk, Griff. I don't care if
Broom!
I don't care if you have to automatopoeia the shit going on outside your window. Especially during the opening. I can't have this be empty silence air. Say something.
Words. Sorry, you've completely derailed my train of thought now from lizard fucking.
Look, we're all part of a very specific community where this shit gets shown. So, add to the commentary, Griff.
To the commentary. So, a random thing on my mind is, if Ainz, possesses all this power and can summon up random challenges at will, he can basically kind of hold the role of game master and choose to specifically level up people against challenges that he can continue to summon.
Tell me you
There's
haven't.
no. He knows exactly what people are capable of.
This is Grip playing that game of Tell Me You Haven't Seen Season 3 while watching Overlord.
Tell me you haven't seen Season 3 without saying it.
Which is, I guess, my spoiler for you for Season 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, cool, then I guessed right. Awesome. It's exactly what I want, then.
Well, sort of. It's a very weird thing.
Mine's not gonna be like, we're low on cash, we all need to go grinding.
The opposite.
We're introducing a new character a little late.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate one of the Guardians, which, in hindsight, makes no sense the moment you figure out what he does.
I don't think they show it this season, do they?
I don't
At all.
remember. I don't honestly remember when it happens. At the same time, though, I want you to remember Season 1, when it
Oh no, they're showing off the power right now, I think. Which is the reason why it's here. I like the extra layer of Animal Crossing talk on top of it.
But we kicked that guy out of the guild for talking weirdly. Specifically because we're all Japanese, and he's using ye old English, which doesn't even make sense historically for what we would idolize as a country. We would be like quoting the speech factor of, God, did you know that in Japan they used to speak Chinese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point they would have had to.
Well, yeah, because they got their language from China. So, not speak Chinese. They used to write in Chinese. And then, at some point during an age where the Zen Buddhism was brought over, they created their own language, and then wrote their own books about their own country, obviously. But the idea being that if you were going to romanticize like a ye old English for Japan, I think the thing to do would be to use that era of changing language. I also like the cut is going to be from me talking about all that, and then he's going to come back to I and saying, I think goats would be better.
The best segue.
Please, sit on me. That wasn't me being weird. Ainz is eventually just going to be sitting on her, so...
Yup.
And she's going to like it, because that's the weird show that we decided to watch.
Yup. No, God can't possibly make mistakes.
Ironically, in that pause between when you were making your lunch or whatever the fuck you were actually doing.
Yeah.
And, well, me doing nothing, there's no pause between it. There's two different states of two people doing stuff. What I mean to say is, in the pause between recordings, I was watching another one of my prior React videos, which is basically friars reacting to stuff online. Which I guess me here in a reaction, recommending another reaction. But yeah, that was one of their things. They were reacting to Evan Almighty, and God can't be heretical is one of their assertions.
Hmm.
So in the definition of God, there are things that God cannot be. And God cannot be heretical.
It's the theodicity thing. God has to be these things, otherwise it wouldn't be.
Well, they established in one of their other videos that the definition of God is agreeable as an absolute truth between even non-believers, in that whatever you define a God as, a believer also has to be able to define a God as.
And speaking of, they're about to send Cocytus to personally handle the Lizard Man. He is a one-person raid boss.
Well, yeah, because he's the combat-oriented member of the overpowered group. Like, everyone's capable of combat, but Cocytus is the combat guy. It comes up in examples of, like, One Piece. Every character in the Straw Hat crew is capable of fighting, but Zoro is the fighter. If a situation is like, this is a fight, you're gonna look to Zoro, even though Luffy is obviously capable of fighting anything as well. But Luffy is the leader, Zoro is the fighter.
Yep. I think they put that into the rap, didn't they?
I have no idea what you mean when you say that.
The 4Kids intro.
No, Zoro is just like a samurai. N-A-M-I, Nami, she's not shy. Anyway, point being is that samurai has a lot of definitions, so it doesn't really mean anything. Also, he's not like a samurai, because he doesn't come from Wano.
He also, doesn't have a lord or anything.
Again, he doesn't come from Wano. Also, he's a pirate hunter, so not like a samurai. And here we go, Cocytus respects the culture. Which is never shown in Season 3 either.
Everyone will forget this detail later.
I mean, they bring the lizards back. Ironically, during the part you were guessing at. But not in any important way. I think the lizards from here on out, after this episode, get treated the same way Hamtaro does.
Always going on adventures?
Well, I will say they only show up in scenes that Hamtaro was in, so...
All I wanted.
Yeah, as the plot goes on, Ainz slowly retreats away from Guy in a Lich's body, trying to figure out what to do, to just being the Lich. A lot less scenes of, oh, is that what I was thinking? Thank God. To, here's my decree. I want you to kill them all, and then subjugate them in my name.
But not with fear.
Rule through fear is forbidden, though. So figure out how to do those two things at the same time. By the way, leaning back on the religious talk, you would call that in modern Catholicism Agelionism. That's the thought that anything that God says you can do, God wouldn't tell you you couldn't do anything you couldn't do. Which must mean that man can live without sin, which then denies original sin.
Which is also a thing that got said at some point.
Well,
Contradictions.
it's more so
Yeah.
that the thought process that free will matters more than anything is the root of what paganism boils down to, which is then means that you're more important than God, which is why it's a heresy. It's a heretic belief in Catholicism, which is why it's so much more interesting than anything else in Catholicism.
さすがはアインズ様、誠にすごすぎんす。至高の御方々のまとめ役にいらっしゃったと言わすのは、伊達者ありんせんと言わすことでありんすね。
And there they are, just casually upselling Ainz for basically doing nothing other than confirming what everyone else said.
Well, it's a trope that Demiurge will describe the plan that Ainz has, that Ainz hasn't come up with, is smarter than what Ainz would have come up with, so Ainz agrees with Demiurge. As I said, we're on a slow track to having less of these scenes, as it becomes less the guy in the Avatar, and more just the Avatar. Because Ainz himself has no need to lie in bed and think, so you get a lot less scenes of Ainz doing stuff that the guy in the Avatar would do.
Like flopping onto bed.
Well, I mean, it behooves a restlessness, like a boredom aspect that the Lich itself doesn't have. Best scene of the show. Pending any more of this in season 4, I guess.
Completely overprepared.
Well, no, it's a show of force. It has nothing to do with being overprepared.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all those skeletons could be wearing cursed magic items that literally hinder them, but the idea being that they look badass. Intimidation factor.
Something about gold armor not being all that effective.
See, but if you add an eye into that sentence, they're making a movie. It's amazing what you can add or subtract from any given sentence. God tier magic. Wouldn't even know how to recognize it.
It's from the cash shop.
It's not. God tier magic is not from the cash shop.
I just always like to use that.
You won't shout it's a Gundam when you're supposed to, but you'll constantly shout it's from the cat shop with the same inflection for some reason. Well, I mean, he's just killed all of our food stuff that was living in the lake, so not much to live for now.
Summon rock.
Look out, it's Gigantomachia.
I'm surprised it actually retained its shape now that I think about it. That was a pretty heavy impact.
Yeah, it was clearly a chiseled rock, which means it came from a quarry of some sort, which means it's harder than the surface around it. Specifically, that it got thrown in a mud. It's a cushion.
This is the part. A staircase of skeletons just to show off. I think that was what put it over the top for me the first time I saw it. And of course, chair.
I mean, he could have easily just Thanos his way around. Flying chair.
Oh, almost certainly. Then he's putting his sound system out there. Simply for that. Even the NPCs are like, oh, this is a little excessive.
Well, I mean, it'd be like if I was running a D&D game, right? And I say, alright, the bad guy waves his hand, and a Tarrasque climbs out of the earth. And he crawls in front of you, and he lays his head on the ground. And on his nose is a small post-it note. I believe I've demonstrated my power.
兄者一人では無礼と思われるかもしれん。それに見せしめで殺されたとしても、旅人の俺ならば部族の団結の点では惜しくない。
I don't know, you are the guy who just rallied everyone together.
代表シャスーリュシャシャだ。そしてこの者こそリザードマン最強の者、ザリウスシャシャだ。
Bless you.
Meanwhile, they're just like, what are they saying? We don't speak that language.
I mean, I think we know that they do, given they sent all these messengers. Behold the power of the Diplomancer.
ご苦労、頭を上げ。頭を上げることを許可する。
The most broken build in a non-purely monster-oriented 3.5 game.
まずは私の実験を手伝ってくれたことに感謝の意を示す。さて本題だが、私の支配下に入れ。しかしながら君たちも自分たちが勝利を
I do appreciate that their first move is we surrender.
故に4時間後、再び攻める。せめては私の信頼できる側近、呼吸とすただ一人。もし君たちが今度も勝利を収められたなら、私は完全に君たちから手を引くことを約束しよう。降伏を戦わずして降伏などというつまらないことは
No PC would surrender.
話は終わりだ。では4時間後にたっぷり楽しんでくれ。待ってほしい。
By the way, please don't fornicate with one another. I will be watching. I don't want my subordinates to think I'm a perv.
I do love the, I only iced it up so I wouldn't get myself muddy.
じゃあね。さらばでありんす。じゃあ元気でいてください。ではさようなら。
Sending the mixed messages.
さて、たっぷり楽しんでくれたまえ、リザードマン。
I do appreciate through the efforts of translation. The last thing Demiurge says, for some reason, sounds like "peace out" in English. Whatever he said in Japanese, I mean, we know what he said in Japanese. The last two syllables, whatever, he's out.
I mean, that would be my exit statement of choice, I think.
I think we all know that I'm the type of person who would just float into the portal and say nothing at all.
You gotta be dark and ominous. You gotta have that vibe and energy.
I gotta have 4 X's in my name, and none of them in the middle.
They're forming their adventuring party.
ふざけないで。
ザリウス、お前が説得しろ。4時間後にまた会おう。
How blatant these animators are, giving us nothing but Lizardman ass shots.
We know what they want. They're just giving them what the people want. Lizard.
I was hoping you were gonna go a different way with that.
わかるはずないかも。それに負けると決まってない。
You're laughing crazy. I want to know what you thought there, because probably not as funny as what I was thinking.
I mean, nothing says you can't possibly do your bit too.
Yeah, but I want to hear what yours is before my stupider thing.
I already did mine. I'm done.
No, you broke out laughing because you had a funnier thought. What was it?
We just call that anxiety laughing. But what do you got?
Oh, I was going back on the old meme. We all know what all men want, and then it breaks out into that hunt for Atlantis thing. The implication is all men are horn dogs and all want sex, and then everybody just marches off down the hallway, talking about the adventure of finding Atlantis and all of its treasure. All men want one thing: to search for Atlantis and find the infinite wealth of untapped age. But no,
there we go.
That's what all men actually want. Heinz being a perv. See, the problem, once again, we thought this was all in one episode, and it turns out to have been 2 episodes.
They broke it up again. Every time I think the show is moving, it slows down again. There you go. So next time, the actual fight.
Well, yeah. I guess we didn't have any fight at all.
It was... Gosh, was this really just kind of 2 scenes?
Yeah, the lizards meeting together and forming a plan, and then watching Heinz walk on the backs of a bunch of people.
Well, it's
3 scenes, because there was also
three
the scene,
scenes. There we go.
Yeah, and
Nazarick talk. Yeah. Oh my gosh! It just every time the show, I think something's gonna happen. It just goes even slower. It's carving it up bit by bit. At least there's no filler episodes.
Is there not? You know what? Talk about something for 5 seconds. 5 minutes.
What would the Nazarick Beach episode look like? Well, what kind of swimsuit would Ainz wear to the Nazarick Beach episode, do you think? What else can we talk about here? So, obviously, the lizards are not going to succeed, but they've formed... I joke, they're forming their adventuring party. I think this might be... Since you've already hinted at, in Season 3, they're going to have Ainz doing the GM thing and leveling people up. Maybe this is kind of the prelude to that thought in the author's head. That Ainz presents a challenge, everyone gathers up, and they form basically what is the adventuring party against the Lich. And then it starts to evolve from there. I think that kind of ends up being the natural thought process. But right now, it's literally just going to be showing off Cutis and how cool of a fighter he is. I don't remember a whole lot about the fight, but we do have ice creature versus person with ice weapon, and it obviously has its benefits. So I think I recall that plays a good part in the fight, but I'm not really sure about any other details. I'm pretty sure he dies and that victim will do like a resurrection thing on them or something, though. I think that's what happens.
Cool story. Apparently, I'm only seeing up to 39 episodes. I think Overlord 4 would be more than that, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. All of them are canon.
Oh, okay.
No filler.
There you go. Yeah, no filler. There's actually been less and less filler for series over time, I think. I think they've tightened up how they do things enough that it's not really necessary. Or they've chosen series that have already done more.
Yeah, it's mainly series that have come from that era where we do long-running shit. You know, like Bleach had a lot of filler, but 1,000 Year Blood War not going to have filler because it's based on a finished thing. Plus, they're actually trimming stuff out.
Well, we'll never get another episode like Goku and Piccolo learning to drive. What a shame.
Yeah, we will. Dragon Ball Z is still ongoing.
Dragon Ball Z would just pull that joke in canon because it can.
The Dragon Ball franchise is still ongoing and is full of that stupid shit.
Oh, yeah. It's half the charm of that series.
I mean, there was never like an Ichigo learns to drive thing. You barely I didn't realize until I started going back to watch Bleach from the beginning how like breakneck Bleach is. There's
Ooh.
very little. There's very little. Like there might get like half of an episode is them settling down from like the mend of the last arc, and then oh no, one of them gets kidnapped, or there's no cooldown. Like a character might go home early and get a little bit of extra lead time, but other than that, the next thing starts immediately. There's
Right.
no middle ground.
And then we kind of shift back over to Overlord, where it's just like, all right, we're going to make sure we put in as much lead time as possible, and the action will happen again in another episode.
Well, again, that's a disingenuous comparison given that
Fair, yeah.
Overlord is not the same. The only comparisons you could make would be like with Dragon Ball or One Piece, or I guess now Boruto, because those are of the same generation. I mean, obviously Dragon Ball is previous, but of the same thought process that created them.
Yeah.
And like One Piece has cooldown arcs where things just are fun, there for fun. Dragon Ball has cooldown arcs where things are just fun. Obviously, we just brought up the driving thing. I don't give a shit about Boruto, so who the fuck knows? But I remember Naruto just had stupid little adventure things happen off of the side in the beginning. Bleach is just fucking okay, cool. Aizen's now the big bad. He tried to kill Rukia. We saved the day. Better head home. Fuck, Orihime just got kidnapped. And it leads into the vampire arc. It's just like there's no fucking cooldown. Ichigo is like, all right, Orihime got kidnapped, but they said we should go to school, and because something's gonna happen at school. And that's how we're just maintaining our daily lives in the shadow of the new arc.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about like the sort of ADHD method of always have something new, shiny, dangling in front of your audience to keep them interested. But I mean, just having stuff happen is the point of watching a story in the first place. So at least Bleach is doing great there.
Well, it's how it develops its characters, right? So we can only develop our characters in a meaningful way through strife. What's the best way to have strife? Have an overarching bad guy. Well, we don't have to have them fight the bad guy from the beginning, or even introduce them. We can slowly, piece by piece. The same way that Aizen is introduced as, here's this caring guy, making sure his subordinates are well taken care of. Oh no, Aizen's been killed. And then, wait, what is Aizen doing here? You're dead. We don't have to fight the big bad from the beginning. We just have to stress everyone the fuck out by the presence of a big bad being known, or at the very least, who's kidnapped Orihime. We're stressed out dealing with what the fuck is going on, not so much dealing with the full arc in totality.
Right. So let's see. So what else can we go ahead and wrap up about Overlord with then? We got any final comments here?
Please don't kill me. There's the psychopath laughter. Reassuring.
Very reassuring. If you hear that laughter in the middle of the night, just run. So, I think that's going to be it for Overlord today. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and peace out. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?